Illegal immigrants, also referred to as undocumented immigrants, do have certain rights under U.S. law and international human rights law. While their legal status might limit some rights and privileges, several protections are nonetheless available to them. Constitutional rights. Undocumented immigrants in the U.S. are protected by certain provisions of the U.S. Constitution. Key rights include 1. Due process rights. Fifth Amendment protects against self-incrimination and ensures due process of law. Explanation. Undocumented immigrants are entitled to fair legal procedures before they can be deprived of life, liberty, or property. 14th Amendment ensures equal protection under the law. Explanation. Guarantees that all persons within the U.S. jurisdiction receive equal protection of the laws and cannot be arbitrarily discriminated against. 2. Protection against unreasonable searches and seizures. Fourth Amendment protects against unreasonable searches and seizures. Explanation. Law enforcement officers require a warrant or probable cause to search a person or their property. Undocumented immigrants have the right to demand a search warrant. 3. Right to fair treatment in court. Sixth Amendment guarantees the right to a fair and public trial, the right to a lawyer, and the right to an impartial jury. Explanation. Undocumented immigrants have the right to legal representation and a fair trial if they are accused of a crime. Labor and employment rights. Undocumented workers are afforded certain protections under labor and employment laws. 1. Wages and working conditions. Fair Labor Standards Act, FLSA, protects against exploitation by ensuring minimum wage and overtime pay. Explanation. Undocumented workers are entitled to receive at least the federal minimum wage and overtime for work performed. 2. Health and Safety, Occupational Safety and Health Act, OSHA, ensures workplace safety and health standards. Explanation. All workers, regardless of immigration status, have the right to work in a safe and healthy environment. 3. Workers' compensation. State laws. Most states provide workers' compensation benefits to undocumented immigrants injured on the job. Explanation. Undocumented workers can claim compensation for work-related injuries and illnesses. Education rights. Undocumented children have the right to access public education. 1. Right to K-12 education. Plyler v. Doe, 1982. U.S. Supreme Court ruling that guarantees the right to free public education for all children, regardless of immigration status. Explanation. Undocumented children can attend K-12 public schools without discrimination or exclusion. Healthcare rights. Undocumented immigrants have limited access to healthcare services. 1. Emergency Medical Care Emergency Medical Treatment and Labor Act, EMTALA, requires hospitals to provide emergency medical treatment regardless of legal status or ability to pay. Explanation. Undocumented immigrants are entitled to emergency medical care at hospitals. Civil rights. Undocumented immigrants have certain civil rights protections. 1. Protection against discrimination. Civil Rights Act prohibits discrimination based on race, color, national origin, and other protected characteristics. Explanation. Undocumented immigrants have the right to be free from discrimination in various settings, including housing and public services. Immigration enforcement and detention rights. Undocumented immigrants have specific rights during immigration enforcement actions. 1. Legal representation. Right to a lawyer. While not entitled to a government-appointed lawyer, undocumented immigrants can hire a private attorney or seek assistance from legal aid organizations. Explanation. They have the right to be represented by a lawyer during immigration proceedings, although not at government expense. 2. Notice and hearing due process. Entitled to notice of charges and a hearing before an immigration judge. Explanation. Immigrants in removal proceedings have the right to know the charges against them and to contest their deportation in a hearing. 3. Asylum and protection from persecution. Asylum law. Right to apply for asylum if they fear persecution based on race, religion, nationality, membership in a particular social group, or political opinion. Explanation. Undocumented immigrants can seek asylum or other forms of relief if they meet the necessary criteria.